In this video, I'm just going to give you an overview of your homework problem this week, which is to use Pygame to write a simplified version of Flappy Birds. In the document that I provided for the homework, I give the dimensions, the speeds, and basically the equations that I used for modeling kind of the dynamics of the bird. So anyway, let me just run this code. And so we have our basically the game. So we have the window, it's 500 by 500. I have a 50 by 50 red square. And then I have this moving kind of conveyor belt at the bottom, and that's kind of give the dynamics that kind of this square is moving along. So the game doesn't start until I hit the space button. And so I hit it, it changes color, and it starts falling down due to gravity. Every time I hit the space bar, I have an upward thrust. So I kind of go upward. But if I let go, I don't hit it, you'll start seeing it kind of collapse down to the bottom. And the game ends if you hit the bottom or if we collide with a barrier. So let me just show you. So if I come over here, let me just collide with a barrier. And boom, so the game's over. It stops. Let me start it up again. And let's see if it'll start up. Let's try that again. All right, so we got the window again. I'm starting the game. I have the barriers. The gap between the barriers is a random number. And so sometimes it'll be wide, sometimes it'll be less wide. It's not too tight, just to make it pretty easy to play the game. And again, I am kind of keeping it through the barrier. One thing is I do is I also have bouncing at the top. So if I get to the top, it will kind of reflect like an elastic collision. Let's see if I can stay through this barrier. Oh, kind of ended the game. Let's try again. Come over here. And again, I'm coming down. Obviously, if it collapses down to the bottom, the game stops and it's over. What else do I want to show you? So I start the game. Again, we mentioned bouncing. I keep on going. And there's only actually one barrier in a frame at a given time. So once it kind of moves out, the new one kind of comes in. And so just a hint, I used the mod operator to kind of get that kind of periodic movement with kind of the barriers and also with the little squares at the blue squares at the bottom, which is kind of like the conveyor belt. So that's kind of the simple game, and that is your assignment for this week. And I suggest you start pretty easy when you do this. So maybe first get the square to move vertically, and then maybe add the barriers, and then maybe add, the conveyor belt and everything else with it. You have basically all the elements, and you'll have to work a little bit with a piece of paper for just some of the geometry. Particularly, I had problems when I want to capture like that part where I have a collision where my bird has moved a little bit past the barrier. All right, with that, I will stop. And if you have questions, just put them in Piazza or send me an email. Thank you.